So guys, our topic today here on Wednesday, this is the Wednesday Wisdom from Peter Zoom for the 29th of September of 2021. Guys, we're going to talk about today how to double or even triple your sales with very little difference, but something that makes a huge difference. Guys, I want you to write this down right here, okay? 3 words: facts tell, stories sell. So please write that down. Facts tell, stories sell. Guys, in our demo, we have a lot of facts. Anybody know what the facts are in our demo?
The statistics.
Statistics are facts. That's right. Benefits, guys, are facts, right? We pay you $800 if you have a diagnosis. Those are facts, guys. Guys, facts are not what sell our policies. People don't buy the policy because 3 out of 4 families are diagnosed with cancer, or 2 out of 3 men, 1 out of 3 men, excuse me. They buy it because of a human being that went through it, struggled with it, that they may know, or maybe someone that you're telling about that they may know. But guys, that's the stories. Stories are testimonials, or as we call them, IRAs. And guys, some of us I think some of us just don't think they're all that important. But guys, if you're not using at least, and some of you guys, your jaw might drop. I used to read at no less than 6 testimonials in every single demo. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. During the course of my demo, from beginning to end, and I will share with you guys this, in my first year, I averaged 35 demos per week, and I averaged 17 transactions per week. So it wasn't quite 50% closing, but because of the high activity, I could close less than 50% and still have a pretty decent amount of sales made. But guys, tons and tons of IRAs, of testimonials, okay? And guys, I want to share with you guys the specific testimonials that I did use. But guys, more important than the actual testimonials that I use, guys, is just the whole mindset behind testimonials, behind being an absolute pro and knowing where they are in your demo book and how to access them quickly, but knowing who to use which testimonials with. Okay, guys, that's huge. We don't want to go out there and just be demo dummies and give the exact same demo to every single person. We need to size people up. There are certain rebuttals or certain IRAs out there and testimonials that you use with a single mom, okay? Because that's the only income. So you want to share a testimonial of another single mom that says, being a single parent, there's no way I could have paid the bills without something like this, okay? When you are with someone that has no history of cancer, and you know that's going to be their reason for not getting it, okay? You need to read a testimonial before they're able to use that as the, because you ask them up front, who's the closest person that's gone through it? And if they say, well, no one in my family, okay? You didn't ask if anyone in their family went through it. You asked who they know. And when they say no one in my family, go ahead and make a mental note that probably in 15 to 20 minutes from now, that's going to be the reason they don't buy from you, unless you cover it. Okay. So part of this process, guys, is next level thinking. And this is why it's so valuable that you have your sales talk memorized, complete word for word. If you're thinking about the next words you're going to say, your brain is too busy to think about that person's situation, reading their body language, and pulling out the right testimonial for that person. So guys, with all that said, this is a document that I created, I don't know, 17, 18 years ago, okay? Because I personally wanted to make sure I knew exactly which testimonials I was going to use when and in what situations. So first off, guys, this is so important. I would challenge each of you to give yourself an assignment that you do something similar. Because some of you guys right now, you've got 5 testimonials saved in the photos section of your iPad, and you blaze through those demos like nobody's business, and you never show a single testimonial. Okay, you're given a bunch of facts, no stories, and then you're wondering why not more people aren't buying. Guys, more people aren't buying because facts don't sell. facts tell, stories sell. Okay. So with these testimonials, guys, I want to know which ones we're using. I want to know where they should be placed in the demo book, and also how specifically each of them are used. We're going to talk about that. So guys, this is just a couple examples, and I'm going to show you a couple of the ones that I specifically used. Melissa Gonzalez, I wouldn't even know where to find her demo in here, but I know that I was using that at one point back when I first got started. Okay, her testimonial was from December 16th of 2001. That was about a month and a half after I started my career. Okay, where after page 2. Now, guys, again, some of you are going, well, after page 2, I can't insert these IRAs into my actual demo. I have to double click my button and go over to photos. Guys, whatever you have to do. I'm not the most quick and nimble with an iPad. So you guys all saw an email from me last week where I asked you to send me your favorite IRAs. And I appreciate it. I think four of you responded. So thank you for that. But I asked for those because I'm compiling a real simple, really thin, easy to carry notebook that when I'm out in the field, I've got that with me. So I don't have to worry about toggling back and forth. I'll just do my demo and I'll just open up my little book and then show them the actual IRA that I want them to see. Easy for me to do. Again, most of you guys that are doing this 30 times a week are a lot more nimble with your iPads and stay that way, but you have to show them. You can't just have your IRAs stashed over in the photos and never go there, or only go there 2 or 3 times in the whole demo. Okay, guys, we got to be doing at least 5 or 6 IRAs throughout. Okay, so this is where I used the Melissa Gonzalez. She had breast cancer. We paid her $11,800 after page 2. And I read this after the children, men, and women part, and before you show the rising cancer cases part. Okay, and I highlight. And guys, on your IRAs too, you should have certain parts of it highlighted. People's eyes naturally gravitate towards the parts, towards highlighted pieces. Okay, and you'll see those here in a few minutes as I exhibit A. You know, this is Dawn Thompson. I want people to see that she got $6,000. Okay, when they look at that over here in Tim Nolan's, the part that you want people to read, you simply highlight it. It's not every single bit of it. And by the way, these are the ones that Maria sent to me, and hers pretty cool. They're color coded. So she's got, hey, this one is for children. You know, people that have kids. I'm going to be reading this one. This one is for to read spouse had cancer. This one right here, she's got marked with on Social Security. So I assume this is an older person. Okay, and dealt with COVID as well. It was a heart claim. So guys, again, don't be a demo dummy. Know what you're using, know for what situations, and be ready to pull those suckers out at a moment's notice. So let me minimize these here real quick. The part that's highlighted, the part that I would read specifically is, hey, with both of us having family members with cancer, we figured our chances were favorable for us. And with your return, if we didn't use the money, we viewed it as kind of like a savings account. Okay. And I'd say what she's talking about with your return, she's referring to the fact that you get all your money back if you stay healthy. So guys, that's a conversation I'm having with the prospect right there. Okay. With your return, that means you get your money back if you stay healthy. I'll definitely get into that part in a little bit. I won't go so much into this Reader's Digest article, but there was a great article back in February of 2004. Okay. A couple years ago, 17 plus years ago. And I would share that article because it actually talked about a person becoming blindsided. I won't, I would use it right after page 3 on the indirect cost page, right after you ask, hey, which of these indirect costs would affect your family the most? I'd read the title. Okay. Hey, this was an article from a little bit ago. Back then it was just, a couple months ago, a couple years ago. Blindsided. We thought our health insurance had us covered. God, I'm reading this part right here because I'm trying to create some doubt. Okay. The people have this false sense of security that their health insurance covers everything. Guys, we know that it doesn't, but since we're not buying the product from ourselves, we're trying to sell it to another person. That other person has to understand why they have to understand that their health insurance doesn't cover everything. Us understanding it for them we're not the one writing the check. We're not the one giving the account number. So we got to make sure that they understand it. Okay. I'm not going to read this whole one because it's pretty long and it's kind of irrelevant right now. But the idea is that we're looking for things like this. We're educating ourselves. Guys, I was looking for any and every article I could find that dealt with cancer. I just wanted to educate myself and have all these stories. I remember one of the Beatles, George Harrison, actually passed away from cancer right as I was starting my career. And we talked about that. We're like, hey, if one of the Beatles, probably pretty wealthy, can die from it, it can happen to about anybody, huh? Number 3, guys, the Laureen Williams quote. And I believe I have that handy here. At least I pulled it up last night. And yeah, as luck would have it, I'll probably not be able to find it this morning. But in the Laureen Williams quote, there's an entire email that's dedicated to this tool. It's one of the best ways to cover the spouse objection and procrastination objection all at once. Matter of fact, if I can find that here real quick. Laureen Williams. And of course, I've got how to use the Laureen Williams quote, but not the actual quote itself. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know where it is. I think it is over here in Adobe Acrobat. Here we go. Aha! Technology is my friend. So guys, this is was written back in April 10th of 2003, and I would share this right in my buying atmosphere. I'd say I'm going to share with you a quick story, and then I'm going to ask you a favor, okay? So this client of mine, Laureen Williams, and guys, this is kind of the how-to part right here, how to use it. This has been sent out a bunch of times. If you don't have this, just ask your manager, or managers, please share this with your people if you've had it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the benefits. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes. But before I do, I'm going to read you a quote from one of our clients who lives in Virginia. Her name's Laureen Williams. And she asked that we read this to every person we show this policy to. You know, Laureen bought this policy in the summer of 2003. She actually first saw this policy a year earlier in the summer of 2002. And something pretty unfortunate happened between the 2 times when she saw it. Well, instead of telling you about it, let me just read it to you. Okay. And then you go right into it. I really wish I'd listened to my 6th sense. Okay. And if I'm talking to a woman, I jokingly say, you know, you women have 6th sense, right? When I first saw this policy back in the summer of 2002, unfortunately, I made the mistake of waiting. And then there's a brief pause and you make eye contact. The mistake of waiting. I want them to hear that waiting is a mistake. Okay. And asking my husband's opinion. I obviously did a poor job of explaining it to him because his response was, we don't need that. Our health insurance pays for everything. And, you know, people tend to reject what they don't understand. Okay. Without a good demonstration on how it worked, he lacked the understanding to make a good informed decision. Because he didn't think we'd ever need it, he talked me out of it. Now, less than a year later, he's been diagnosed with glioblastoma, a form of brain cancer. So he doesn't qualify as he once did. I should have gotten us both covered while we're both healthy. And I'll pause and I'll say, so he told her not to get this plan. Then he turned around and got diagnosed with brain cancer. Okay. 8 months later. Now, her husband doesn't have any more problems. Okay. He doesn't have to deal with the fallout of this because he died. Okay. But Laureen does have some pretty serious problems because she took almost a year off work to drive him back and forth to a cancer center in Richmond, which took 2 hours away every other day. And she didn't get paid when she was taking this time off. She said, I got myself covered now, but I wish I'd not waited. With the return of premium, there's absolutely nothing to lose by getting covered, while there's so much to lose by not getting covered. And then I'm stepping out of the reading and I'll say, you know, Susie, Laureen asked us to read this to every person that we show this to, because she said if it could just keep one person from procrastinating, then it'll be worth it. Because she said if you wait, you can always find other things to spend your money on. So when we get done, can you just go ahead and just let me know a simple yes or a simple no when we get done? And guys, if they say, yeah, sure, no problem. If they say anything other than the word yes, then my response is, Is that a yes? Okay. Guys, I want to be really, really specific. Now, some of you guys are hearing this and going, man, that's really direct. Man, that's really bold. Well, guys, here's the deal. If I'm going to get procrastination or spouse, I want to get it right now. I don't want to get it 15, 20 minutes later after I've gone through the benefits and I've shown him or her the price. Because, guys, if the price gets out and you're thinking that Susie's going to go home and tell her husband, Tom, about the policy, and he might be really excited about spending $89 a month on a policy. I've got some oceanfront property in North Dakota to sell you. Okay. That ain't happening. Okay. Here's how that demo goes at home. Hey, honey, do we need cancer? If the conversation even happens. Normally it never happens because people forget and you go back. We haven't had time. Oh, it's been crazy. We just haven't had time. And by the fifth or sixth time you swing by, they say, oh, you know what? We're just not interested. And you're going and you're mad at the world now because you wasted 3 hours of your life going back to see this person after telling them you were going to show up one time and not come back in the first place. You're kind of feeling a little cheap. So don't do that, guys. Don't put yourself in that situation. Give a good buying atmosphere. Get the objection up front if you're going to get it. But guys, even if she does do a demo, here's how the demo goes. Hey, honey, do we need cancer insurance? And the husband replies, cancer insurance? I've never heard of such a thing. We don't have cancer. Of course not. We don't need cancer insurance. And she goes, oh, okay, I guess you're right. That's the demo. Guys, if that demo worked, that's what we would teach in Sales Academy, right? But it's not taught in Sales Academy because it doesn't work. But that's the crappy demo your prospects are giving their spouses when you send them home with a brochure and the price, right? All they hear is how much? Oh, $89 a month. Oh gosh, that's too much. And it doesn't matter what the dollar amount is, guys. It could be, it's $22 a month. Oh gosh, that's too much. No way. We're not wasting that. Doesn't matter, because if you don't see the value in it, then it doesn't matter. The price doesn't matter if the value is not there. Okay. I've seen policies that were $16, $17 a month, competitors' policies. And guess what? They're crap. People have had claims and got $100 from it. And just because it was cheaper doesn't mean it was better. It just means it was cheaper. Okay. And you get what you pay for. So I'll get off my soapbox with Lorraine Williams, guys, but I hope that you have that in your book and I hope that you're using it. If you got the procrastination objection at all this week so far, and you haven't used the Lorraine Williams quote, I would encourage you to use it and get out behind somebody who does use it and hear them use it in front of a live prospect and record it and listen to it and practice it and become an expert at it because it works. Next one, guys, Billy McCrite claim. That was cancer. That was $64,000. Okay. Use this testimonial when speaking to a retired person. Guys, we don't run into a truckload of retired people because we call on people where they work, which means they're not retired. But every now and then you're going to run across a retired person. You should, if you're getting referrals from people, you should be getting referred to working people's parents who are retired. And we should be calling on those people. Okay. So this is typically reserved for residential calling, but this is where older people, are. They're home. Okay. And that's great for train wars. When you want to catch people after 5 p.m., go catch a bunch of referrals of people that are home. Read the last two lines. Those of us who are on Medicare and that have a supplement policy, it will not pay all the expenses when you or your loved ones are stricken with cancer. Okay. This defeats the we have Medicare objection. Okay. Because a lot of people have it. Jan Levesque, breast cancer, $9,676. Read the whole quote. It works really great with single parents. I decided that the premium was not too costly with only one income. Okay. Guys, I don't know where the Jan Levesque testimonial is right now, and it's not important. The point is there's testimonials that come out all the time that talk about having one income and how it's not too much. Are we capturing those and then are we using them? We talked about the Lorraine quote already. I won't belabor that one. Richard Kleitz. Ooh, this is probably my favorite testimonial. If I ever thought that I was going to get the procrastination objection, guys, because you can cover it really, really well in the buying atmosphere, but you've just got this feeling in the back of your head that, man, she's a wet noodle. She's going to cave. She's going to give me the spouse objection. So the Kleitz objection, guys, is a wonderful one to read if you need to do it, in your first rebuttal. Hey, understand how you feel. A few of my clients have felt the same way. Excuse me. The first rebuttal now is it possible that something can happen? Yes. Well, how do you know it's not going to happen? Okay. So it makes sense to get protected. That's kind of the simple, easy one. Guys, you want to dig in a little bit more and give someone with the rebuttals. I understand how you feel. Okay. A few of my other clients have felt the same way at first until they found out what this could mean for their family. And that's, guys, what they found out was the information shared in this testimonial I'm going to read you. Guys, people will not change their minds. Okay. Pride will not allow that to happen. So if you just sit there and, oh, why not? Or come on, just get it. That's not going to work. You have to give people new information to form a new decision. And that testimonial, that new IRA that you share, that's the new information. So people will never say this out loud, but what they're thinking in their head is, oh, they just given you, oh, I need to think about it. And hey, I understand how you feel. A few of my clients need to think about it at first till they found out what this could mean for their family. Matter of fact, let me share with you this testimonial from the Kleitz family. Richard was actually diagnosed with cancer of the mouth. We paid him almost $6,000. And his wife wrote here, well, let me just actually pull it up. I think I've got the actual testimonial right here. Oh, again, I'm sorry. It's probably right over here that's Costern, Lights, Sarah Blaylock. Now you guys are seeing why I like to carry a notebook with these things, because you can kind of have, if you guys are having awkward pauses like this, where you're staring and looking through a bunch of testimonials, you're losing momentum in front of your prospect, just like I'm losing momentum on this piece right here with you because I can't find the right testimonial. Okay. This is why I don't like to, that's why I like to dummy proof it for myself. But let me just share with you what I've got written here. This testimonial is great to read right after giving the price and before going into the close, or use it with the first rebuttal, either way. The last sentence reads, thank goodness we didn't procrastinate like we sometimes do and signed on when we did. You never know what the future holds. I believe the beginning of that testimonial, I've read it so many thousands of times, says, we had just signed up for this coverage 1 month, and the next month my husband was diagnosed with mouth cancer. Thank goodness we didn't procrastinate like we sometimes do and signed on when we did. You never know what the future holds. Then I look at the prospect and say, and that's really true when you think about it, isn't it, Mike? You never know what the future holds. And so, and guys, if I think that they're going to procrastinate, if I think they're giving off signs, okay, they're sending me signals that they're going to be one of those fishy people that, oh, I know I said I'd give you an answer, but I still need to talk to him. We've all heard that, guys. And that's why you read that and you say, and that's why I really appreciate you agreeing, Susie, to give me a simple yes or a no back at the beginning when we started. I really appreciate that. And then go right into your close. So guys, you're reminding people, because they forgot. They forgot they told you they give you a yes or no 20 minutes ago. They've gone through a lot of information since then. What you're doing is reminding them of their promise to give you a yes or no right before you're going into that close, which is right when most people procrastinate or give the spouse objection or fill in the blank. Dawn Thompson, last two, guys. $6,000 car wreck. This is great to use with single parents. And guys, there's so many of them out there, so many single parents. I mean, have these, but this is placed right after page 17 between the two ICU pages of the way the demo book used to be set up. But it said I could not, had a car accident, ended up spending several days in the ICU. I could not work during this time. And being a single parent, it put a real strain on the family finances. Now, if they're a single parent, I don't have to say anything. They hear that, they get it. Okay. If the prospect I'm talking to, though, is married, and so they probably have a double income situation, then I'm also going to put in there, if they're married, I'm going to look at them and say, most people tell me, Josiah, that single parent or not, 5 months of missed work will put a strain on any family's finances. Would you agree? And you want to get them nodding. Oh yeah, that'd be bad. If one of us couldn't work, it'd be bad. Okay. Then she continued, then I remembered the intensive care rider I attached to my cancer policy. I filed a claim for what I assumed would be a long battle to collect. I think it was less than 2 weeks later, I was paid every single dollar promised in my policy. This policy has definitely renewed some of my faith in insurance companies. And that's literally, guys, off of, that's off memory from 15, 16 years ago. Here's Don Thompson right here. Nearly killed in a head-on collision in February, touch and go for 6 days in intensive care and 5 months of painful recovery. I could not work during this time, and being a single parent, it put a real strain on the family finances. Kyle, most people tell me single parent or not, I mean, if one parent can't work for an extended period of time, it puts a strain on anybody's finances. Would you agree? Absolutely. Then I remembered the intensive care rider attached to my cancer policy. I filed a claim and then braced myself for what I assumed. And this is not very good. I don't know why this JPEG won't get any bigger. Would be a very long battle to collect. Less than 2 weeks later, I was paid every dollar promised in my policy. This policy has certainly renewed some of my faith in insurance companies. Guys, that just makes you feel good to read. Okay. And last one, Mitzi Nips, one of my favorite ones. I used to read this when I'd be sitting down with a lady, and it was a one-legger. I knew she's married. Mitzi Nips actually went through jaw cancer. We paid over $26,000. This is a great one to use when with a spouse, and you fear that they may pull the husband or the wife objection. It starts out with, I told my wife we did not need this policy because we already had enough insurance. However, she enrolled anyway. This plants the seed that, hey, it's okay to go ahead and get this, regardless of what they may think. Okay. Go ahead and assume that they'll say no. It's okay to get it anyway, whatever. Okay, guys. So I'm going to pause there for a second, but we had a lot of sharp people on this call right now, a lot of note takers, a lot of people that implement. I'd love to hear one or two key takeaways from somebody on here.
Van, I did have a little question. Would you recommend using the Lorene Williams quote for all types of demos in addition to just cancer?
Yep. Sure would. Doesn't matter.
And then I had a little bit of a timing question. So for those of us who maybe use one or two demos normally, this is going to add a couple minutes to.
You said one or two demos. What do you mean?
For those of us who normally would do one or two testimonials within our demo, this is going to add several minutes onto the total. Is there anything, is that just fine, just roll with that, or is there anything you'd recommend to kind of keep it moving so that the prospect board?
Yep, sure. For every IRA you show two less benefits. That'll even things out. Again, perfect. Guys, facts tell, those are benefits. Some of you guys are showing every single benefit in the policy, and you're showing either no IRAs or one or two or three. You need to cut the number of benefits you show in half and triple the amount of IRAs that you're showing. Okay. Facts tell, stories sell. We've also heard, guys, that there's another saying in sales, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Guys, the benefits in the policy, that's the steak. That's not what we're selling. We're selling the sizzle. Okay. It's the presentation. The sizzle are these IRAs. Okay. So
then I would say, other than the approach, this is by far probably the most important thing that everybody could study, including myself. For the longest time, thought the benefits, these benefits, they're going to, be up front. There's a lot of other companies that have a much heavier first occurrence benefit. But what's more importantly is what we're saying right after we find out their situation. Single parent, married, 5 kids, no kids, just understanding that. And right at that moment, we should already know 3 to 4 testimonials, bang, 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 that we're going to throw at them. That after that, they're sold. We don't need to really go in depth on how the benefits work. Just understand that these are unlimited and they'll never run out. And just, if it makes sense, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. So this is important, huge.
Thank you, Zach. That's coming from someone that sold coming up on $1 million worth of premium, guys. It's a lot of insurance. Guys, this is the last part I'm going to share with you. These are testimonials that also I have, and I have them very clearly labeled. Back in the day, I actually used to have all my testimonials, and I would have little tabs. I'd have single parent, or I would have no history of cancer, and I could turn to that tab, and I had 2 or 3 different IRAs, depending on the situation. I knew exactly where they were. I put my hand on them in a matter of a second. So it just flows nicely, guys. It's called being a professional. Remember, guys, sales is a Broadway play put on by a psychiatrist. And people in a Broadway play, guys, they know their lines. They know them well. They don't stumble over them. They don't sit there and stop and and flip pages and look through pictures. They know where things are at the drop of a hat. Okay. But Fred Costern is somebody that I met at David O'Neill Automotive, which doesn't even exist anymore. It's a different name here in Raleigh on Capitol Boulevard, but Fred was the finance director. I found out when I was doing enrollment at that dealership that Fred, he said, Family Heritage, it sounds really familiar. I think we have that coverage. And I'm going, no, he doesn't. He must be mixed up. And it turns out that we called the home office and he said, yeah, Fred Costern, you have a cancer policy with us. And yes, Deborah, the wife, she did, you guys had a claim. We paid you $19,782. I said, wow, would you mind sending me that IRA so Fred can write a testimonial, because he never wrote one. And so Fred wrote this. As a matter of fact, he took it home. His wife, Deborah, had breast cancer. He took this home, and Deborah came home a couple of days later with this. I never thought at 39 years old I needed this policy, but I did. Again, guys, that's someone who's young. 39 is young. If you're talking to someone who's in their 30s or 40s, or they think they're too young, this speaks right to them. Okay. I came down with breast cancer only a year later after we took out this policy, and they were wonderful. They paid us promptly when my claims were submitted and took a large burden off us financially. They were caring and understood what cancer can do to a family. I highly recommend them in addition to your regular health insurance. Okay. And Deborah was a teacher for Wake County Public School System. Okay. Someone had come by and showed it to them there at work. And guys, you better believe that I took one of Fred's business cards on my copy of the IRA. Of course, the one I sent to the home office didn't have this on there, but on my copy, I put his business card on there and copied it right onto it because I wanted people to see. Now, Fred's the finance director at a major dealership in town. Do you think Fred is pretty good with money? Being a finance director? Yes. Fred chose, with his understanding of money, to purchase this policy. That means you can be smart and purchase it too. You guys see all these little subliminal things? Hey, look at this one. Can anybody guess what this one covers? There's a Post-it note right smack dab in the middle of it that I kept on it all the time. Some of you guys are going, well, there's a Post-it note there. Who cares? Who cares? That reminded me when to use it. When someone didn't have a family history, when someone thinks they had great health insurance, and we were there when they needed it. I'm so thankful. Lori Hedden, who had breast cancer, paid her over $5,000. I'm so thankful that my husband and I purchased a cancer policy in Family Heritage. I had no history in my family, so I never expected to ever file a claim. Okay, guys, when you're talking to someone that with no family history, read this, because then they're going, well, I wouldn't expect to ever file a claim, but she did, and she needed it. I might need it. You're planting those seeds, guys. Do you ever run into anyone that's already got a cancer policy? Guys, I used to run into that all the time. I'm sure it doesn't happen anymore because no one has cancer policies these days, but I'm kidding. I'm sure they're all over the place. So you want to let people know, hey, listen, Julie Beck already had a cancer policy too. Matter of fact, and she went when they went through lung cancer, we paid them $9,120. Look at what she said. I'm so thankful we got our cancer policy when we did. We had to use it only 7 months after we got it. Not only did my wife get diagnosed with lung cancer, but I had some skin cancer removed as well. The day Mike, her agent, showed up and told me about the policy, I was hesitant to listen because I already had a cancer policy for many years. Guys, the person you're sitting in front of, if they have a cancer policy, they're going to be hesitant to listen. So you're speaking to them through Clark and Julie Beck. Okay, remember, people believe half of what a salesperson says because they know you get paid if they buy. They believe about 80 to 90% of what these testimonials say because it's a completely disinterested third party. They know the Becks don't get paid money if you buy from them. If that prospect buys from you. So, and then he ends up with, to date, I've received around $12,000 from Family Heritage and around $100 from my old policy. We pay a little bit more for the Family Heritage, but as you can see, it paid off when we needed it. As we continue to battle daily treatments, I'm thankful to have a company like Family Heritage by our side. Bev Caruth, young, no family history, paid claims fast. Okay, another great one in here. Guys, anything in here that's got thank you Shelly Billingsley in it means Shelly Billingsley helped craft it. And Shelly was really smart about crafting testimonials with her customers that answered a lot of objections. So that was a really great one there that Shelly helped put together. Gordon Daniels, I believe, was another Shelly Billingsley client. And guys, I've read Gordon Daniels 5,000 times, literally every demo since I first saw this. If you're not reading Gordon Daniels in your introduction to help people understand what indirect costs are, $47,943. I'd like to say to people that think they have enough insurance should think again. I have great health insurance. And guys, do you hear my voice? I'm not saying I have great health insurance, but that didn't even begin to help me cover all of my bills. I had great health insurance, but that didn't even begin to help me cover all my bills. People don't realize how much money you spend on gasoline and food when you're traveling over 60 miles one way for chemo or radiation treatments. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is why this is highlighted. I know it's hard to see right there, but this was highlighted in bright pink for many, many years. This policy has helped me with my home bills, such as mortgage payments, utilities, car payments, etc. I haven't been able to work very much. When I'm not working, obviously, I'm not making money. And I'd pause and say, Susie, most of my clients tell me when they're not working, they don't make money either. Is that kind of how it works around your work too? You got to show up to work to get paid. Yeah. So if you couldn't show up for 6 months to a year, would they still pay you? No. Would that present problems? Yes. Okay. It's a good thing that I'm here. Glad we had a chance to meet. Okay. Angie Sharp, I won't belabor that one. You guys all have that one in your book, 14,000. Brian Wilson, one of the top agents for 10 years in our company, helped create this testimonial. It's awesome. Answers a whole lot of objections. And also this one, guys, if you're having a tough time getting referrals, you need to be reading the Angie Sharp one, because the very next to last sentence says, I'm so thankful my mom cared enough about us to refer Brian, our agent, to us. Please give him your time and listen. So Susie, when we get done, just go ahead and know I'm going to ask you for some people to refer me to as well, just like Brian asked the Sharps. I'm going to ask you for some people that you love. Okay, you're planting that seed. You send us to people that you love to take care of them. Rhonda Simmons, another great one used. Jackie Beach was my first ever client. Matter of fact, I'm going to end up on this note, guys. Jackie Beach, my first client, personal client that ever had a claim. Jackie enrolled on December 23rd of 2003. I remember that specific date because literally that morning, I did not feel like getting out of bed at 5 a.m. and going to enroll anyone down at TJ Fannin & Sons HVAC. I didn't want to do it, but it was snowing outside. It was cold, but Leslie had to go to work and we weren't going to leave till she got off work at about 1 o'clock anyway. So I figured I might as well go out and get 6 hours up in. And so I did. And Jackie was there that day and she brought her old crappy, 25-year-old cancer policy that she gotten through combined insurance that paid that she paid like $14 a month for, $22 a month for. So she went in a month after getting this because she wanted to test it out. I want to give this whole early detection benefit a test. So she went in for her well woman checkup and she got a little more than she bargained for. Literally she had been covered for 4 days. Okay. When she went in February 10th, she'd been covered for like maybe 7 or 8 days, but not very long. Her 30-day period had just ended. So if I hadn't gone out that day, she wouldn't have been protected. Okay. And she would have been stuck with a couple $100 she got from that old crappy old policy she had from before in the 80s. But she said, this policy has been extremely beneficial to me and my family during a very difficult time in my life. The benefits I've received from this policy have eased my financial concerns caused by my illness and inability to work. My agent, Vance Davenport, was so supportive and showed his concern and personal commitment to me through numerous telephone calls to check on my well-being, as well as provide assistance and guidance. The personnel in your claims department were extremely helpful and made the entire process easy to understand. All my claims have been handled expeditiously and professionally. And And guys, I would read that to every single person I ever sold insurance to. So that's the way people want to be taken care of. They want to be their claims to be handled quickly and professionally. And they want an agent that's going to go to bat for them, you know, that's going to make phone calls and check in, that's going to go and help get paperwork turned in for them. And that's what we do. So guys, I hope today was helpful. I hope you got some takeaways from this on not just exactly which ones to use, but guys, just to use them. There's some really, really great ones out there. Again, if you're using less than 5 testimonials, and I encourage 6 or 7, okay? Facts tell, stories sell. Get them in your demo, use them, okay? Would you rather have a 35-minute demo where you leave without a sale because you didn't sell them, you didn't show many stories? Or would you rather have a 42-minute demo that's 7 minutes longer and protect a family? I know which one I'd rather have. I'll put in the extra couple of minutes to get a family protected, and I hope you will too. So guys, thanks a bunch. Please call me if you have any questions about this. This is a favorite topic of mine. Facts tell, stories sell. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. Use IRAs, at least 5 minimum in your demo, guys. Thanks so much for being on, and let's have a rock and roll Wednesday, and we'll pick up the pace. It's not how we finish, but how we start, but how we finish that makes all the difference. So let's have a strong finish. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Hey,
Van.
Van.
Yes, sir.